Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of the MCR. Uh, got a situation involving a weightlifter out of New Zealand, and I don't know if it's comical, pathetic, or a combination of all of the above, but I was inclined to bring it to Mac's attention, see what his knee-jerk response is, and so here we go. We got New Zealand. Uh, he's referred to as New Zealand's strongest man, and he is a man. And he registered to compete in a woman's global powerlifting deadlift competition. And just like, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about that guy in Canada, I want to say, he's doing it for the exact same reason. He's not in favor of this, but he's doing this to show the idiocy of it. And so this is his way of protesting transgender involvement in women's sports. And hey, here's something else too. You notice it, Mac. You notice it's in women's sports. You don't see a transgender woman competing in men's sports.
No,
I don't think,
because they know they can't
yeah,
compete.
and
That is,
and I was thinking about this just the other day. Where are all the feminists from the 70s and 80s?
well, it's a scam. It was all a scam. They made money off of it, and my position on any issue today is okay. Well, where's the money coming from, or what's your reward for being part of it? I think this guy is probably doing it for the right reasons. And let me throw out another person I'm pretty sure you're not aware of. Brad Holmes, the Lions general manager, in a Detroit Lions, that is, in a news conference about players gambling and getting suspended, he was wearing a shirt which Riley Gaines was applauding him for that says, keep girls in girls sports or something to that effect. It was supporting this very movement.
I had no idea about that. Bravo to our Lions guy. Well, this guy's name out of New Zealand, his name's Dale Shepard. And here's his comments. He said, "It is important to me that both transgender athletes and biological women both have the ability to compete in sports. To maintain equity and preserve women's sports, transgenders and biological women must have their own separate classes, or eventually all women's sports will be taken over by biological men who now identify as a woman." So he's saying, he's basically saying, if I read this correctly, make it a separate category. But here's the problem. How many of those will there be?
Well, something that comes to my mind is why we have these categories to begin with. It's for fair competition. Let's say we have high school wrestling, boys high school wrestling. The kid who weighs 95 pounds but is a good wrestler, he doesn't wrestle in the 220 category, and there's a reason for that. They'd snap him in half. The same reason we have weight classes in professional boxing.
Well, I think I heard a story last week, I want to say, and I don't know when this happened or where it even happened, but I guess a woman got her nose broken when a transgender male spiked a volleyball in a game.
I can believe it. So there have been female MMA fighters that have had their literal skull cracked fighting a man, pretending to be a woman.
Back to our Dale Shepard, New Zealander. Here's where the story takes a very interesting twist. The Global Powerlifting Committee of New Zealand, they're scrambling to find a way to keep Dale Shepard out of the competition, to include rewriting the rule book to say he's ineligible. And here's how they're rewriting.
He's not a woman.
What's that?
How can they say he's not a woman?
Well,
are they transphobic?
The rule book, and this goes to something I was kind of wondering about myself. You've got to have medical proof that you've been on estrogen for at least a year. They're trying.
That doesn't make you a woman.
Well,
I could give it to my dog, and it doesn't make him a woman.
What this committee, this Global Powerlifting Committee, is saying is you know, in order for you to qualify competing in the women's sports, you've got to be able to prove you've been on estrogen for at least a year.
And I say again, doesn't make you a woman.
And so here we go with the words, games, excuses, and scapegoats, as I like to say. But
Wes, don't be the S in Wes.
It's just this whole thing of well, you haven't been on estrogen for a year, so you're not a real woman.
Well, he's not a real woman. I'll give him that. But you know what? You're letting in other non-real women.
But it's funny that's how that's become the what do you call it? The defining qualification.
Well, and I've said this for as long as you've known me. For every zig, there is a zag.
Oh yeah.
So we just got to see which zig or zag is coming next by these courageous men pretending to be women, so that they can defeat the other courageous men pretending to be women,
who are attempting to basically demean the pretending women.
Yeah.
But I just had to talk about that. I mean, since we're all about ranting on topics here,
So if I walk through Victoria's Secrets at the Miracle Mile shops in Las Vegas, does that make me a woman?
Well, if you were on estrogen for a year, maybe.
That could be.
So, you know what? And spend a few $1,000s like Dylan Mulvaney to look hot.
Yeah, well, that was a swing and a miss in my book.
So, all right. Now we're getting goofy. So, what's that?
I've always been goofy.
All right. That's it for this one. So much for this rant. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks everyone for your support. And as always, be safe. Watch your six, and don't tread on me.